Alright, let's get started and open up Onshape and start a new document. Let's call this table. We're going to introduce a few new tools today. So the first object we're going to do is a cylinder. Let's go ahead and sketch on the top plane. Select our sketch tool and select top plane, and we're actually going to draw a center point circle. Let's turn off the front and right plane, and let's make sure we're looking right at the top. I'm going to hold the screen down, come in and get the origin and let go, hold the screen down again and adjust the size of the circle. When I let go, it is not dimensioned. Let's go ahead and turn off our circle tool and grab our dimension tool, and we'll get our selector tool going and bring it in and select that circle. That symbol right there is the diameter of the circle, the distance all the way across. I'm going to tap right on it, and let's make it a 3/4 inch diameter. 75 hundredths of an inch is 3/4 of an inch. Alright, now we're just going to hit the check, and we have a circle. So we're going to extrude it now to turn it into a cylinder. No entity selected. I'm going to make sure I tap inside my shape, and let's extrude it 16 inches. Okay. Great. Alright, so that's the leg of our table. And now we need a very basic table. Let's go ahead and create a new part studio, and we'll title it Tabletop. Let's rename the other part studio Table Leg. Oops. Okay. Now, our tabletop, we will also use the top plane for. And we're going to draw a rectangle. Let's turn off our front and right plane, look at it from the top, press to the side, get our little selector tool, start at the origin, press to the side again. Sorry, release. I released from the origin. Alright. And let's put some dimensions on it. Let's turn off our rectangle tool, grab our dimension tool. Okay, I'm going to dimension from the origin to this point right here. That'll be the width of our table. Let's say 24 inches. And then let's put the dimension on the side. Always take your dimensions off. Let's make it 16 inches wide. Always take your dimensions off your table. Off your object. And hit the check. And we will extrude this shape. Sure, just 1 inch sounds good. Okay. Now we need to put some holes in it for the legs. So we're going to draw circles, but let's go ahead and locate them very specifically on the bottom. Alright, I'm not going to draw all 4, I'm just going to draw 1. So I'm going to sketch right on the bottom. I'm clicking right on the bottom surface, so I just created a sketch plane on the bottom of that object. Okay? And we're going to sketch a circle, center point circle. And I'm going to press and hold. And I'm not going to, okay, I just released, press and hold, bring it in. I'm not going to try to locate it very precisely just yet. Okay, let's get the dimension right first. So I'm going to deselect my circle tool and select my dimension tool. Press and hold. And let's make this the same dimension, 75 hundredths of an inch, as the table leg. And now I'm going to dimension the location of the hole from the corner. Okay, and let's go ahead and make that 2 inches. And now we need a vertical dimension as well. Okay, I'm going to turn off my dimension tool, zoom out, and hit the check mark. And now I'm going to, well, I'm going to turn off the view of that top plane. All right, now I'm going to extrude that little hole that I made. I'm going to change the direction so that instead of popping out, it goes back into the table. So I'm going to go opposite direction, and I only want the depth to be half an inch, 5/10 of an inch, because I don't want to go all the way through. And we're not adding, we are removing. Okay, so that looks good. Hit the check mark, and then we'll take a look at it. We've got a little hole. Okay, now I want 4 of these, and I'm going to use symmetry to create holes on the other side. So what I'm going to do is create a plane right down the middle of this table. So I'm going to go to my 3D tools, and I'm going to select a plane right down the middle. And what I do is I come in here and I touch the flat edge on the side, this 1 inch thick edge. And what it does is it creates a plane. But I actually want this plane to be in the middle. So I'm going to do an offset. Whoops, it's already offset. It's offset 1 inch automatically. I want it to go the opposite direction, and instead of 1 inch, I want it to be 12, because it was a 24-inch wide table. So that's a plane going right down the middle of my table, and that's going to be my plane of symmetry. So I'm going to hit a check. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this feature on the other side, this extrusion. Okay, so now I'm going to use my mirror feature to create a hole on the other side of that plane that goes right down the middle. The mirror feature's on the left, 4th row down. Now, the type of mirror I want to do is called a feature mirror, because I'm mirroring a hole, which is it's not a part, it's a feature. So the extrusion. So the feature that I want to mirror is extrude 2. So I tap on it, you can see it highlighted there. And then the mirror plane, I've got to tap on mirror plane, I'll zoom in and tap on it, and right away it pops up on the other side. Great. Now I'm going to flip those 2 holes by creating another mirror down the other direction. So let's create another plane, and we'll click on this edge over here. And as you can see, it created a plane 1 inch off. I want to go the opposite direction, and half of 16 is 8. I think it was a 16-inch wide table. So that plane is halfway down the middle. Let's turn off the visibility on the other plane so we don't get confused. And now we're going to mirror those extrusions across that plane. So let's try it. Oh, we have our plane tool already up there. I'm sorry, we don't want the plane tool, we want the mirror tool. Let's get the mirror tool on the left. Now, again, we're doing a feature, right? So let's select extrude 2. Right, and let's see if we can tap on that other feature. There we go. We could just tap on mirror 1. So I've got both of those holes selected, and then I click on mirror plane, and I click on the plane, and those holes pop up on the other side of that plane. Okay, great. So now I've got my table. I'm ready to insert the legs. Let's go to the assembly. All right, I am on the assembly tab, and I need to insert my table. So I'll insert my table, and I'm going to insert 4 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice inserted 5 total parts. Check. All right, I'm going to fix the table top. I believe that was the first one I put in. There you go. Fix. And now I'm going to move. Oh, I'm locked. Double tap. I'm going to move my legs around, just one at a time. Drag them and move them to the underside of the table. Whoa. Don't forget to double tap to release. Double tap. Okay. Now, they don't need to be really in the right spot. So the question is, how do we insert these? I don't want them to translate. I don't want them to move in the X, Y, or Z direction, but it's okay if they spin in place, because that's not going to affect how my table looks. So they're allowed to rotate around that one axis. So the type of connection we want is the revolute mate. Notice the arrow going around saying it can still spin along that one axis, but it's restricted otherwise. So what we need to do is zoom in here, and I'm going to turn on, oh, it's already turned on, revolute 1. There we go. It says it needs 2 mate connectors, right? So we're going to hold down, get our selector tool, and I want to select the back of the hole. Okay? And now I just want to stick this leg into the hole. So I'm going to hold down and select this end, and let's see what happens. Okay, it actually looks like it needs to be flipped around. I'm going to unlock my screen and look at it. I was trying to insert from the bottom, and it's coming in from the top. So I can easily fix that using this little arrow next to the word solve, and it flips it around. And as you can see, right, it is going into the hole, exactly halfway into the table. Great. Check. All right, let's go with the other, let's go with another leg. Reselect my revolute tool, get my selector tool. You want to be careful not to select this. This would be the edge. It would not be inserted if you selected the edge right there. So you want to go all the way into the back side of the hole, and then press and hold, grab this guy, and it looks like it needs to be flipped around, right? If you unlock it, it's on the wrong side. I'm going to flip it, and you can look at it from the side. You can click on front to look at exactly from the side. You can see it's exactly halfway in. Great. Okay, and let's keep doing it. You know, I like zooming in to make sure I'm selecting the right part of the hole. That makes me feel good. There we go. And then let's grab a table leg. Flip it around. For this last one, I won't flip it. What I'll do is I will move the piece over. So let's go ahead and select it. And I'll drag it over using the square. I think it was this hole that is in need of a leg. Double tap. There we go. So in this case, I'm going to just insert it so that it doesn't need any flipping. So I'll zoom in. That angle's not quite getting it for me. There we go. And now I'm going to unlock my screen. I'll rotate and I'll get this side of the leg so that it doesn't need to do any flipping. And I'll look at it from the left view, and you can see it went halfway in. Check. Alright, so that looks good, and that is my table. If you want to double check to make sure all the legs went in, you know, you could look at them from the side, from the front, from the right. Make sure that the legs both stick down the same amount. There you go.